Welcome to the newcomer session. Maybe we'll wait like 1 more minute, see if more people want to join. I'm Miriam Kühne, the Wright chair. I'll tell you a bit more about it in a second. And so what we'll do is I will be speaking and the lovely meeting team in the background will be managing the slides. So I hope this won't be too awkward, but we'll make it through, I'm sure. Right, why don't we, well, the number is going down instead of up, so I don't know what that means, but let's just get started because we have quite a lot to cover within the next hour or so. So welcome all to the to Wright 82. We can move on, please. And I think this is for, at least for some of you, will be your first Wright meeting. So this is Wright 82. The first Wright meeting, Wright 1, was in 1989. And I saw there are quite a number of newcomers on the attendees list. Well, not all of you are here, but I think it's really great that you're joining the Wright community. And I know how difficult it must be to be, and I vaguely remember how difficult it was being a first timer or a new person in a new community. And it must be even harder now in a virtual environment because, you know, you can't really be introduced to each other. You're kind of there isolated and you can't face-to-face, you know, run into people during the coffee breaks. So I hope we make it as easy as possible for you to join and to understand what this is all about. And also we have quite a number of social interaction tools available that hopefully make it easy for you to enter this community and to feel encouraged to participate and come back. On the other hand, of course, the advantage is we don't have to travel and we can do this all from home. So yeah, just so please don't hesitate to contact any of the people that you will see during the presentation here. There are quite a number of faces on the screen that you might recognize throughout the week and on the screen again. So yeah, let's move on. The first face that you will see is me. So I'm Miriam Kühne. I'm the Wright chair. I've been selected Wright chair last year in September. I'm originally from Berlin in Germany, and I studied there. I studied computer science, and I've worked for a number of mostly not-for-profit companies throughout my career. I've done a lot of community work in the internet and operations area. And there's also a vice chair, Neil O'Reilly. In the next slide, you will see his face. There he is. He's also been selected in September last year. It's the first time we actually have a team of a chair and vice chair. And which is really wonderful. I don't know how I would do it without him. And Neil is from Ireland originally. He is he used to run like the network at the University College in Dublin, and he's been around at the Wright community for quite a while, and has also co-chaired some of the earlier Wright working groups. So he's a good source also for any questions you might have about the history of Wright. Talking about the history of Wright or the history of the internet on the next slide is a bit of a blast from the past. I don't know if any of you have actually used the machine there on the left. I don't think I have. I had an Atari even before that, I think. But on the right-hand side, it's kind of interesting, is that's basically what the internet in Europe looked like in 1990. And that's mostly academic networks at the time. They're connected. And that's how Wright kind of started, is to mostly NRENs and academic networks who connected and formed the internet in Europe, and so we would produce these maps. So each time a new network was added, you know, there was a new map and published, I think even as a Wright document. So you can come back and look at how it all evolved. At some point, of course, it wasn't, you know, didn't scale anymore, so we didn't draw these maps anymore. Right, to come back to today, and on the next slide, we actually start already asking you some questions. There will be a poll popping up now, and I think I've mentioned Ripe and I mentioned the Ripe NCC. And so do you know the difference between the Ripe and the Ripe NCC? It's just an easy poll that should pop up with yes and no. There's actually on the left-hand side under your name, there is a little red button with a question, with an exclamation mark. If you click on that, you'll see the poll. And let me see if we have answers already. What do I see? Where do I see the results? Razwan, Menno, help. I see the poll. I don't see the results yet.
Miriam, the poll results are there if you click on the last poll results.
Yes. The difference between Ripe and Ripe NCC, yes, it's pretty much half-half, kind of 58%, sorry, Menno, I see it now. 58% have said, yes, they do know the difference, and 41% have said, no, they don't. So don't worry about it, we'll actually go through this now and explain a bit more what this means and what these two entities are and how they work together. So if we move on, you'll see on the next slide, you see kind of in a nutshell, these two entities or organizations or communities. So even with two different logos, as you see on the top. Let's start on the left with the Ripe community. It's basically an open community. Ripe, by the way, stands for Réseau IP Européen, like European IP network. That's what the community called itself back in '89, when about like 12 or so participants or community members started to meet. They were mostly from these academic networks that I mentioned earlier on that you saw on that map. And so their main task was to promote IP in Europe and to kind of coordinate the activities and to coordinate some of the technical aspects that needed to, kind of the technical parameters that need to be coordinated in order to connect all these networks and make it the internet, basically. And so Ripe also started a lot with the information exchange, kind of building trust amongst each other, and the technical coordination that I mentioned. And then also at some point developing policy, kind of mostly policy around address distribution or resource distribution, like who gets how many IP addresses, how is it registered in the database. And so the good thing about this is that these policies and decisions or guidelines, they are made by the open community. So anybody can participate in Ripe. You don't have to be a member, don't have to pay anything. You can participate on the mailing lists, and I'll get to that in a second. Now, on the right-hand side, you see the Ripe NCC, which stands for Réseau IP Européen Network Coordination Center. So it's basically the coordination center or the secretariat for the Ripe community. That's how it started in '92 when the community grew, the Ripe community grew a bit more, and they decided it would be helpful to have some paid staff that would organize the meetings, run the database, the mailing lists. And so that's how the Ripe NCC still exists today. It's run by staff, and it has an executive board, it has members. And the members select the executive board and decide about the activities and the budget of the Ripe NCC. And the Ripe NCC provides services to the membership, but also to the Ripe community. So the members always have agreed that it's useful to have services and to be open to the community at large. And the Ripe NCC is also the one who then implements the policies for its members that are developed by the open community. So there's quite a lot of interaction, and it sounds complicated, but I think still it's a brilliant construct how it's been set up at the time, and there are a lot of checks and balances into play, and it's really important that the Ripe community can operate kind of openly and is open to anybody, and then the Ripe NCC basically supports the community and works with the membership. Let's move on. So if you move on if you drill down a bit more into the Ripe community, there are a number of working groups, and that I'll go through in a second in a bit more detail. But most importantly, there are a lot of mailing lists that every working group has a mailing list. There's also a generic mailing list. I don't know if we have a slide on that. I'll get to that. That I recommend you to subscribe when you start. The Ripe list is kind of the overall mailing list. And every working group has its own separate mailing list. And it's, yeah, it's kind of important to understand, or it's useful to know that all the decisions and the main discussions are happening on these lists. Even though the working groups meet from time to time during Wright meetings or also interim in between, but the mailing lists are kind of key to this. Okay, if we move on. There it is, the Ripe list. Yes, I thought it was important to mention this for the real newcomers. If you just stumble in here, I think this is a good place to start. Am I still there? I get an error message.
We still hear you, Miriam. But
okay, good. I just got something, error, video interrupted, or oh, maybe my video is interrupted. Yes, it is. I'm not visible anymore. No. That's weird. Well, let me just continue for now. So I think this is a good place to start to subscribe to the Ripe list, and that's basically where all the kind of generic or general discussions are taking place. It's publicly archived, it's open to anybody, and you can go there and to the list, to that link, and find the information how to subscribe. Now, if you move on, I just want to quickly go through the working groups that are there. So in addition to the Ripe list, we have a number of specific kind of working groups, discussion groups that deal with specific topics. And they're kind of here, I think, alphabetically. So at the address policy working group, and you see some faces there that you will see maybe throughout next week. All the working groups are meeting during the Ripe meeting this time next week. So the address policy working group is one of the oldest, if you will, and deals with anything related to managing IP addresses, distributing IP addresses. Anti-abuse deals with online abuse and how to address that. If you move on, and the next working groups. Hey, are we moving on? There we go. Cooperation working group. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Also, if you're maybe not so technical, you don't have such a technical background, actually the cooperation working group has been set up specifically to link the technical community with the like the policy community, if you will, regulators, government representation, law enforcement, and to discuss issues that are of relevance to both communities, like the technical and not so technical, and it's mostly dealing with kind of public policy and issues that are relevant for network operations. The Connect working group is dealing with anything related to interconnections, exchange points. Move on. The database working group, I think, comes next, if my alphabet is correct. I don't see, oh, there it is. Wright database is also good because it's also an important one if you're interested in the functionings of the Wright operations in the Wright database. And that's basically the group, an open group again, that pretty much defines the functionality of the Wright database, which then the Wright NCC would take and implement and make happen. The DNS working group, there are a lot of experts in the group that that know everything about the domain name system. So if you're interested in that, it's definitely a good place to listen. They do a lot of capacity building and information sharing. Next is the IPv6 working group, I think, and they are basically promoting IPv6. And from time to time, there are questions in ours, and it shouldn't it be time to close that working group? But unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. So we're still promoting IPv6 a lot, and mostly through that working group. There's a working group, MAT, it stands for Measurements, Analysis, and Tools. which also attracts a lot of researchers, and there's a lot of interesting presentations about anything to do with network measurements, monitoring, analysis. Let's move on. The Open Source Working Group promotes open source software, open source projects and tools within the Ripe community. The Internet of Things Working Group is a relatively new one that discusses anything related to IoT devices and how they connect to the network and how that may affect the operations in the Ripe community. And next, I think that might be the last one. With on the left, the Ripe NCC Services Working Group. Yeah, that's also an interesting one, because that's basically the place where the Ripe community and the Ripe NCC comes really close together, whereas the Ripe community gives input to the Ripe NCC about services and tools and functionality they would like to see, and on the other hand, the Ripe NCC goes to reports back to the community on the services and on the development and the status of their services and tools. So that usually takes place just before the members meeting and during the Ripe meeting. So that's kind of the public part of the members meeting, and that's really interesting if you're interested in the Ripe NCC operations. And then on the right, last but not least, is the routing working group that obviously deals with everything related to routing, and also lately a lot with routing security and APKI. Right, if you move on. After this kind of rundown of the Ripe structure overall, if you will, let's drill down a bit more into Ripe 82 and how to make the most of it and how you get you best through the week. On the next slide, you will see the meeting plan, and you probably already found it on the website. You see here starting next week and all the sessions. So Monday is basically all plenary. It's kind of a day with open plenary and plenary sessions. With interesting presentations that are kind of generic to the Ripe community, whereas then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are filled with these working groups I have just described to you. There are a number of like social events also. You can find everything on this slide here. This meeting plan is also linked to more information. If you click on each session, you can find more information. There's also on the website a list with like parallel events and parallel sessions that you can find some things that aren't in here. For instance, every afternoon there is a bit of a stretching and exercise session you can find for 5 minutes in the afternoon coffee break. That might be interesting after you're sitting in front of the screen all day. Let's move on. That's the program committee. It's basically responsible for the program on Monday, for the plenary sessions. So this set of volunteers is putting together a really interesting program, this time only on Monday and a little bit on Friday, I believe. They're rotating, and they're selected, the seats are rotating, so they're selected by the community. This time there are 2 seats up for elections. And you can still nominate somebody until Tuesday, and then the voting happens during the week, opens on Tuesday, and will be announced. The results will be announced in the closing plenary on Friday. So, but yeah, if you see any of these people, or if you have any feedback about the agenda, these are the people who to contact. Let's move on. There's also a Ripe Code of Conduct. We have a Code of Conduct, and we're actually working on a new version of it, but this one is the Code of Conduct that we've been working on for many years now, and it obviously, tries to ensure and makes sure that you can work in an open and respectful way, and that you are treated with tolerance and respect, no matter where you're from, what your background is, your interests are. So there's also, you should have seen this when you registered, and it's on the website. But should you experience anything that you don't like, on the next slide you can see how you can report this. Vesna, I don't know, you want to say a few words? Yes, then maybe I can fix my video in the meantime.
Hi, yes, I can speak now. I'm Vesna. I work for Ripeness, and together with Rob Evans, we are a team of trusted contacts, which means we have been trained to talk to you in a confident way. So anything that you tell us is going to remain between us. And we can help you to deal with any problems that you encounter during these meetings. If you feel uncomfortable, if you have been hurt, or even, well, mostly because of the interactions during the meeting, but in any case, if you have some personal issues and you would like to talk with someone, you can always talk to us. Here you see the email address on the slide, and so if you contact us there, we can arrange for some other way that we can talk privately. We can open a private Zoom room. We can get a special chat room only for us, or have a phone call. So any way that is comfortable for you, please approach us. We are there for you throughout the whole week. Thanks. Miriam,
Perfect. Thanks, Vesna. And I yeah, my devices were all like broken, but now I'm back. So let's move on. Thanks, Vesna, for introducing yourself and Rob. And yeah, so how can you participate in this safe environment that we'll hopefully provide for you? There are a number of ways you can participate more actively rather than just listening to presentations. We on this MeetEcho platform, I don't know how many of you had a training that was provided this morning, for instance, but it's also, if you look at the platform, it's quite easy to use. You can use the audio and video queue on the left-hand side. You can request audio and video when you have a question. You can also use the Q&A. There's a chat, but and with the little bubbles, but there's also the question mark for the Q&A. You can ask a question to that, and then the session chair will read it out to you. Please always put in your affiliation before you ask a question. I think your name is automatically filled in. And yeah, the chat, of course, you can use to chat to others. Don't put questions in the, I mean, you can put questions in the chat, and maybe somebody will respond, but it's not a guarantee that the session chair will actually see this. If the chat is very active, it's better to ask the questions in the little question mark area there, so then the speaker can answer. To move on. Yeah, there are a number of ways to network with each other. I mentioned like a couple of social, we'll provide a number of social tools for you, or networking tools. There's a chat in MeetEcho, but there's also another social tools called Spatial Chat. And there will be actually a social after this session where we can play around on Spatial Chat a bit. You can see how it works. There are multiple rooms you can meet there, and you can, move around and meet other people. There's also a mobile app on, or a networking app on your mobile device if you want to use that, with an agenda and also a way to connect to each other. And then also, what's not on the slide here is the attendees list. Obviously, you can find everybody who's registered, and people can log in and check in, and they can add contact details if they want to, and you can find them there. Yeah, please make sure you're not using this for commercial purposes, but just probably don't have to say that. Yeah, please move on. One other way is also to participate is, of course, yeah, to let us know how you like the presentations. You can rate each and every presentation in the plenary, also in the working group sessions. And the session chairs will ask you how to do this after each session, and you can even win a prize when you do that. You have to have an account, but it's kind of quite easy to get one. And I think when you registered, you were prompted to do that. If you feel lost or lonely, if you go to the next slide, you will see one of the friendly colleagues from the Wright NCC, that's Natalie, and some more of her colleagues will be available every morning during the coffee break on MeetEcho or spatial chat, on spatial chat, there it says. And you can ask them any questions. In the real life face-to-face meetings, most questions were like, where can I find this room, or what's the agenda? But this in this time, maybe, of course, it's different, and you might have questions about how to find a certain person, or what certain acronym means, and they can tell you everything about that. Right. And there's more support. There's our lovely meeting support team here on the slide. You can see Alexandra and Martina. They're basically running the show in the background. If you have any questions to them, you can send a mail to meeting@ripe.net. And if you have any technical questions about the platform, or some of your devices, or your browser doesn't work, you can also send mail to opsmtg@ripe.net for the more operational support. And the slides, I believe, are already online, so you can find all the links and all the email addresses there. You can click on them. Yes, to move on. Yeah, so some fun activities during the week. We have organized a cybersecurity challenge. If you're into this, if you're a security hacker type of person, you can find on the website and some more information about this if you go to the Ripe82, Ripe.net, and then program, and again under parallel events, you can find all the information about this. It starts on Monday and runs through the week, and we'll be really curious for the end of the week and how that pans out. So yeah, have fun with that. If you move on, I think there's more fun stuff. We have a Ripe dinner, a virtual Ripe dinner on Thursday afternoon, or Thursday evening, and the colleagues from Ripe NCC again have organized some fun activities there. So if you go to the website, you can participate, and you can submit a video, because it's actually Eurovision week, I think, next week, and it would have been in the Netherlands. Well, it is in the Netherlands, but of course it's kind of different than the real Eurovision in real life. But yeah, we can have a bit of fun in that theme, and you can submit some videos and become a Ripe star. Right, if we move on, I think I'm running out of time. Yeah, this is the this is one other way to give feedback. I mean, you can tweet, you can also follow us on Twitter, so you know what's going on. And there is a feedback form that opens on Monday, but runs through all. I mean, I recommend you fill it in at the end of your meeting week, depending on how long you participate. It would be really helpful if you tell us, especially because you're new to this. You tell us what your experiences are, and what you liked and what you didn't like, and what we could do better. And then next, I missed one social. There was one about the social after this, but anyway, maybe that's in a different. Maybe that comes later. So then at this stage, I would like to hand over to Hans-Peter Hollen, who is the managing director of the Ripe NCC, and who can tell you all about that right-hand side of the slide I showed you earlier with that other logo, the Ripe NCC.
Thank you very much for that, Miriam. I hope you all can hear me. If you switch to my next slide, or my first slide, thank you. So I'm Hans-Peter Hollen, and I'm the Managing Director of the Ripe Network Coordination Center. And I've had this job for a year. And just to confuse you, I used to be the Ripe chair for some 6 years before joining the Ripe NCC as an employee. And I've been part of the Ripe community since about '95, served as chair of the Address Policy Working Group and on the ICANN Address Council for Global Policies and ICANN NOMCOM. So I've been here for quite some years, but this is my first year since 1st of May last year as Managing Director. As Miriam told you, the Ripe NCC is a membership association. We have around 20,000 members who pays the bills. It was formed in 1992. Today we have around 170 staff members managed by me and my management team. We're overseen by the executive board, who is really not executive, but it's a good name. It's a regular board, not running the company, but doing oversight. It's elected by the members of the association. Our function, the Network Coordination Center, is both to be the secretariat of the Ripe community and be the regional internet registry for Central Asia, Middle East, and Europe. together with 4 other regional internet registries for the rest of the world. We provide services paid by the membership for the members and for the community at large. So looking at our most notable services, we run the registry, which is closely linked to the local internet registry portal, the LIR portal, and the RIPE database, and the RPKI resource public key infrastructure, where the resources, IP addresses and ASNs can be assigned so that you can secure your BGP routing announcement. We also operate the Routing Information Service, RIS, which collects routing information from BGP at multiple points around the world, so you can analyze your routes across the whole internet, or large parts of it anyway. We also have RIPE Atlas with more than 10,000 measurement probes, where you can run your own measurements, and RIPE Stat, which is kind of a looking glass into all these data sources, so you can view them all in one view and analyze them together. In addition to the number-oriented services, we also operate one of the root server instances in the DNS, the KRoot, and we have some auth DNS service for enadder.arpa and secondary name services. So last but not least, we also do online training and in person when that once again will be possible, as well as professional certifications that we launched last year. And as Secretariat for the community, we organize this meeting, the RIPE meeting, as well as regional meetings, ENOG, MINOG, and SCE. So moving on to the next slide. If you have any questions about the RIPE NCC, you can contact us at the RIPE NCC Services Desk. And that is just like it used to be on the conference venues, but now it's in special chats, so you can meet us virtually there. Anything, really, we mean it. Moving on to the RIPE NCC Executive Board on the next slide. Here you can see the 7 board members that have been elected by the members. And 2 of them are up for election at the general meeting, which you can see on the next slide, which is on Wednesday next week. The board acts on behalf of the members, and there is also a mailing list, Members Discuss, where announcements are shared and discussions between the members and the board happen. There is also a session on Monday evening where you can meet the board and ask them any questions you may have. When you look at the general meeting on Wednesday, the main things there to remember is that if you are a member, you need to register separately for this meeting. And the most notable topics there is the financial report for 2020, revised charging scheme, which is something we update every year for 2022, and election of 2 of the 7 board members. And that was my short summary of the RIPE NCC, and I will hand over the stage to our Policy Development Officer, Angela. Angela, floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. And first of all, I would like really to welcome everybody at RIPE 82, and I hope you will enjoy this meeting, no matter if it's the first time for you or if you are already an experienced participant. I'm the policy officer at RIPE NCC, and I'm at my first RIPE meeting in this position, because I worked for 6 years before as internet analyst. So I'm very excited to participate in my new role in this meeting. As you know, probably already, everything we do in RIPE NCC is defined by the policies accepted by the RIPE community, so by everybody actually that is participating in the discussion. And these policies regulate the way in which we distribute IP addresses and IS numbers, the services we provide, and the information we maintain in the RIPE database. My role is to support the RIPE community in what is called the policy development process, PDP. And it is actually a structured way that the RIPE community has to transform ideas into implementations. I'm sure that you understand that the participation in this process is one of the most important aspects for the process to work well. So that's why I warmly invite you to follow the discussions and to participate in the working group of your interest to give your contribution and your input into eventually the application of new policies. As you heard from Miriam already, there are no particular requirements, only the subscription to the mailing list and an open mind willing to respect everybody in the discussion. If you're interested in what is happening in the Ripeness CC and in other regional registries, during the Address Policy Working Group session on Tuesday morning, I will be available for a question and answer moment about the pre-recorded overview that is available online, and you can find it in the agenda clicking on the session slot. In the meantime, if you have questions about the RIPE policies, the PDP, or anything that is related, to the RIPE NCC in support of the RIPE community, don't be shy. Just ask, and through all next week, I will be available in the RIPE meeting web app, or you can find me in some special chat rooms. I'm really looking forward to talk to you. Or, sorry, my email address is pdo@ripe.net. There you can always find him. Now I give the word back to Miriam, that I'm sure has some more information for you.
Thank you, Angela. Actually, this brings me to the audience. Are there any questions so far? I mean, we've been rushing through this also because we wanted to leave some space for you to have to answer any questions, either to Hans Petter about the RIPE NCC or to me about RIPE. Yeah, let us know. Because there will be a quiz at the end, so you better get your information right. I see there was already some activity in the chat room. That's great. And some questions, and people were answering them. I don't see any questions yet. Well, we can always come back at the end if we have time. Maybe I'll move on for now to the next slide. Maybe that's what you're all waiting for, because there's actually a social coming after this. It's not quite as it's shown on the picture. Unfortunately, we can't really all meet and mingle together and introduce you to the RIPE participants and to everyone else. But there's a room in spatial chat, and there is a link on the slide, which is also on the RIPE website, of course, on the RIPE 82 website. And you can find me there, for instance, and some other faces that you've seen on the slides, like some of the working group chairs, the program committee, the meet and greet team, the meeting team, also from the RIPE NCC. And you can play around a bit with the tool and see how it works. And then hopefully we'll see you more often during the week. Have you thought of any questions in the meantime? Can't let you go without having a question. No questions. Well, then I guess you'll have to answer the quiz. Hopefully you've listened well, and Gerardo is going to take over now for me, and he's running you through a quiz, which he will actually do on and off during the week as well, and it's great fun. I'm really looking forward to that part. Are you there?
Ah. Let's party! So, it took some time, but here it is, the quiz of quizzes, the one that will test your knowledge of everything that has been said in the past half hour. Welcome, everybody, to the first RIPE 82 Kahoot quiz. Are you crazy? No, but you will after this quiz. And this quiz is a special one for all you newcomers. My name is Gerardo Viveros, and I am your quiz master. Today's quiz is sponsored by IPv4 Global by Hilco Streambank. And let me tell you how we're going to play the game. So first of all, you have to open a browser or get the app and go to kahoot.it. That is www.kahoot.it. You can also get the Kahoot app on your phone, and that works actually sometimes better. So it's going to ask you for a game pin, which you can see there on the screen. That's 3782185. And then it'll ask you for your name, of course. Best practice is to put your nickname, whatever nick handle you want to use, and then, of course, your registration number, because we might want to contact you for a prize. I don't know if there's a secret prize here. No, I don't know. Anyways, we're here to have fun. So once we see enough people logged in, we're going to start.
Initiate countdown.
No, not yet. Let's see if some people join up first. I see 18 people. Oh, I see 19 people. Come on, people.
I love you.
I love you too. Join in for the fun. Just sign up. And if you don't know anything, you will learn something. Surprise! Yeah, it is a surprise. Well, it's not a surprise because we've been talking about everything we're going to ask about in the past half hour. I see 21 people. That seems to be a good number. What do you think, Rover? Yeah, Rover says, let's start. So I'm going to start the quiz, and here we go. Or not. Yes. Take note of this. First question. So, you need to become a member to join A, the Hells Angels, Ripe, the Ripe NCC, or the Ripe Meeting. Which one of these four? If you don't know, just press any random one. I will tell you in 3, 2, 1. The right answer is the Ripe NCC. That's the only one of these that you have to become a member to be able to join. For Hells Angels, what do you have to do? Nobody knows because we don't have any Hells Angels members. Ripe is anybody, and the Ripe Meeting, all you have to do is sign up. You don't even have to be a member. Anybody can join the Ripe Meeting. So on to our next question, but first let's check our scoreboard. At the top we have Kurt, Beja coming in next, Alexander Volte, Joby, and oh no! Yeah, I got the name wrong. Next question. Who makes policies? I know, it scared me too, but this is not a difficult question. Is it Ripe? Is it the Ripe NCC? Is it the blockchain? Or why should I care? The right answer is Ripe. Ripe makes the policies, not the Ripe NCC. The Ripe NCC is the secretariat. The blockchain, some delusional person here thinks the blockchain does something. And why should I care? Nobody said that because you should care. On to our next question. But first, let's look up at the scoreboard. Beja taking the lead. Joby coming next. Alexander Volte, Niall. Or Neil, how do you pronounce that? And Hugh Binu. So, question number 3. Where can you find the Ripe NCC support desk? No, wrong one. Support desk. That's it. Is it on facial chat? Is it on Facebook? Is it on spatial chat? Or is it on Snapchat? One of these 4 has access to the Ripe NCC support desk. And the right one is spatial chat. Anybody going on Facebook will find themselves with a beautiful post, but no support desk. And Beja's still at the lead. She's burning it. She has the highest answer streak of 3. Joby, Alexander Vote, Hugh Binu, and Niall. Neil. Well, sorry, it's like router and router, or router. Anyways.
Good luck.
What does the Ripe PC do? Is it select the working group chairs? Is it ensure that there are parties and celebrations at each Ripe meeting? Hooray! Or choose the presentations for the working group sessions? Is it choose the presentations for the Ripe meeting plenary sessions? What do they do?
Are you sure?
I'm sure. The right answer is choose the presentations for the Ripe meeting plenary sessions. All those other 3, nope, that's not what they do. You're right, Flipper. We should go on to the next one. And we have Betcha still at the front. Alexander Vote, Neil, Vito, and Joby. Neil coming up quickly. Vito and Joby as well. Question number 5. This is a true or false one. So, working group discusses policies on mailing list. Working groups discuss mailing lists on policies. Policies on mailing lists. And the right answer is not so difficult. You have a 50% chance of getting it right. I know, I'm stressed out too. So the correct answer is true. All the working groups discuss their policies on the mailing list because then they are recorded, archived, and you can look back into them. Any other way might be volatile. Yeah, sorry, Push, but you can't. At the front of the scoreboard is Betcha, Alexander Vote, Neil, Guido, and Joby. It's like it didn't really change much. Next question. Who is the Ripe chair? Who is the Ripe chair? Is it Hans-Peter Hollen? Is it the oldest person at the Ripe meeting? Is it the new person we choose every time we have a meeting? Or is it Miriam Kühne? Who of these is the Ripe chair? Yeah, difficult question. Huh? You thought it was Hans-Peter Hollen, but that is old news. The new chair is Miriam Kühne. Hans-Peter used to be the chair. He is now the CEO of the Ripe NCC. And we still have Betch at the top. Alexander Vote, Guido doing a jump. Neil and Joby. Let's see, guys. We still have a couple of questions to turn around these results. Which of these came first?
It's time to party.
Yes. The fall of the Berlin Wall, Voyager 2 being closest to Neptune, Ripe 1 meeting, or the first working World Wide Web browser. That's almost like a tongue twister. And this one is an easy one, right? The first thing that came was the Ripe 1 meeting. Unbelievable, right? The fall of the Berlin Wall happened months later. Voyager 2 passed Neptune also a couple of months later. And the first working World Wide Web browser wasn't invented until several months later. So the first thing that came was Ripe 1. And while we walk towards the scoreboard, we can see that Betcha still at the top. Alexander Vote, Neil, Hugh Binu, and Thomas, new appearance. This can change at any moment. We have still 3 more questions. Who implements policies? Is it everybody? Is it Ripe? Is it a Ripe NCC? Or is it an AI-enhanced robot?
Who was that?
Yeah, an AI-enhanced robot. Whatever is an AI-enhanced robot. I don't know, but we'll find out the answer to this question. And it is the Ripe NCC. So Ripe makes the policies, and the Ripe NCC implements it, meaning they make software, programs, stuff, so that the policies can be carried out. And at the scoreboard, Betcha still has the lead. Alexander Vote coming on next. Hugh Binu, Neil, and Thomas. Come on, people. Break those fingers. Which of these is not a Ripe working group? Oh! Is it the DNS? Is it the big data? Is it the open source? Or is it the IoT? Which one of these four? No! I know I pressed the wrong button too. So, is it the DNS? Is it the open source? Is it the IoT? Or is it the big data? And the right answer is the big data is not a working group. That means that you were paying attention. Meh. On to the scoreboard. Betcha fell down one spot. Alexander Vote came in quickly to the front. Hugh Binu, Thomas, and Joby. You still all have a chance, because this next question is the tricky one. Last one. Does Ripe have a secret working group? Now, the quizmaster has to die. Thank you. Thank you for putting me in that position. If it's a secret, we would never tell, because that's the definition of secret. There are no secrets. There is no such working group, which is total denial, of course. And what is a working group, which is also a valid answer question, but it's not the right one. The right one is, if it's a secret, we would never tell, because that's what's the definition of a secret. So let's check now. What is the final score? Number 3, we have Joby. Number 2, we have Betcha. And number 1, we have Alexandra Voter. Very well. Well done, people. All of you have participated, you have learned, and you have reached the end. Thank you, everybody, for playing. We hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you to our sponsor, IPv4 Global by Hilco Streambank. We will be back again next week for the Wright 82 meeting. And get ready, because we are going to test your knowledge up to the extreme events of the end. Enjoy the social coming up, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. That was great fun. I hope to see you all in a few minutes in the spatial chat for a virtual drink, and I hope to meet you there. And yeah, that's it. And then of course next week it'll all really start.